We laid it on pretty thick.
I know. I got my boots out. Likes to hear himself talk.
He does, yeah. I'm gonna be the new weatherman there. I can tell the road conditions from Webster to
Okay, good. That's good.
St. Patrick.
Okay.
You ready? I'll call to order this city council meeting for December 29th, 2022. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Dave Webb. Here. Kevin Kadada.
Here.
Tim Rude.
Here.
Cindy Fury.
Here.
And Scott Palava.
Here.
Okay, tonight's agenda goes through 10Q. If everybody's got the revised agenda. The additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda.
Will we approve the agenda as presented?
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes. Consider approval of the minutes, excuse me, of the minutes from the November 21st, 2022 regular meeting and the December 8th, 2022 regular meeting. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a hearing tonight, so I'll call to order this public hearing in regards to Ordinance 2022-315, the 2023 fee schedule, an ordinance amending Ordinance 2022-308, the 2022 fee schedule. Mr. Erickson.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Well, with the exception of the 6 items listed in my staff report, staff's recommending that, there's 6 listed, but actually 5 proposed changes. Staff is recommending that all other fees remain the same. Water and sewer rates are not proposed to be increased. The cost of a water meter, since costs are fluctuating so much, we are changing the cost of a new 3/4 inch meter and MXU and fittings from $335 to $401.50. That's based off of pricing that we obtained. And then adding a fee for only an MXU based off of the actual cost plus 10%. I think we did that for water meters and maybe one other thing in the current fee schedule, again, just because we can't get solid pricing. Office fees, staff times proposed increase from $71 to $75 an hour, which accounts for the approved staff wage increases. Equipment fees, we're not recommending any changes to equipment rates because they do cover the cost of operation of the equipment and staff. And then just clarifying that no fee for utility inspection as long as it's been done or paid for within 1 year of the requested utility inspection. Attorney fees, proposing, Campbell Knudsen is proposing an increase from $90 to $94 an hour for paralegal, and then $165 to $175 for the city attorney. And then any cost associated with development would remain the same. And then engineering fees is based off of the 2023 rate schedule submitted by WSB. We do have a current agreement with them, so our city engineer's hourly rate will remain at the $147. Similar to the city attorney, I'm looking at just slightly over a 6% increase compared to 4% in '22. Fiscal impact, the purpose of the fee schedule so that the city can recoup our costs for services outside of what the property tax levy would pay for. And as proposed, the 23 fees are proposed at a level that can happen. Alternatives, well, do not conduct a public hearing, that's already happening. Discuss any changes to some or all of the proposed fees for 23. And then included with the staff report is the public hearing notice and then the red line version of the 23 fee schedule.
Okay.
That includes staff report.
Okay. Is there any comments off the floor Anyone? Was there any calls or emails or any comments, Joel?
I did not receive any written or verbal comments.
Okay, last call.
I move we close this public hearing.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second?
Second by Councilperson Fear to close this public meeting. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Presentation of citizens petitions and comments. Comments limited to 2 minutes. So if you're not on the agenda, now is your opportunity to speak. Okay, on to the consent agenda. There's 5 items here. The monthly bills, the treasury report, the board and commission minutes. Consider approval to issue a cigarette license to Dollar General Store 16374 for 2023. Consider approval of a leave of absence requested by firefighter Mike Minar. Would anybody like any of those items pulled for discussion?
Move to approve the consent agenda?
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's no old business. On to new business. Consider approval of ordinance 2022-315, the 2023 fee schedule, on ordinance amending ordinance 2022-308, the 2022 fee schedule. Ms. Jurich.
All right, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Well, we just held the public hearing for this proposed ordinance, which would establish our fee schedule for 2023. Again, no proposed changes to water and sewer rates. Just looking at increasing the fee for water meters, which is just based off of what our cost. Again, 10%, or an actual cost plus 10% for any individual MXUs. Again, office fees, just increasing staff time to account for wage increases for 23. Not proposing any changes to equipment fees, but adding that, or just clarifying that if someone does request a utility inspection with 1 year of it being done and paid for, we'll do it but not charge. And then attorney's fees and engineering fees, proposed increase based off of what they submitted for requests. So, and as I just stated, I did not receive any written or verbal comment prior to, and there wasn't any at the meeting, so I guess unless there's any questions, staff would make recommendation to approve ordinance 2022-15.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are we expecting Melissa? Should we skip this item?
No, actually, she had just called and said that she wasn't able to make it, unfortunately.
Okay, so are we still gonna run, okay, consider approval of application for payment number 20 in the amount of $23,381.40 to Key Contractors, Inc. for the police facility. Ms. Jerrickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. In speaking with Melissa Stein of Wold, just quickly reviewing it, all this does is just cleans up the change order that was approved at the last council meeting, so making the payment reflecting the deduction of that change order, which was a deduct change order. I did ask her where we are as far as kind of a status update on finalizing the project, and they're working with Key Contracting to get the closeout documents, the IC-134s and everything like that. As far as I know, the punch list is done and everything seems to be working, or I haven't heard that things aren't working, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, again, just kind of cleaning up that last deduct change order, so.
So everybody happy up there, Chief?
So far.
So far. That's a good answer.
Make a motion to approve application for payment number 20 for $23,381 to Key Contractors.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of Resolution 2022-55, a resolution approving submission of a 2023 Small Cities Development Program, SCDP, application and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute such agreements and amendments thereto. Gail Leverton. Woodseth. Welcome. Sure, please do. Yeah, please.
So, I've been working with Joel for the last, 6 or 9 months to come up with a good application for the city of Lonsdale. So,
Okay, great.
thank you very much for hiring us to do that. We're applying for $422,625 to rehabilitate 15 owner-occupied homes in Lonsdale. And we met as a team to determine this target area. We sent out a pretty comprehensive survey, and we did it by mail and also by website. We got 36 responses back. We determined
Nice.
that there were 20 that were interested and also income eligible in that area. So that's how we determined this target area. I'll show you this. This is what the map looks like.
Okay.
We also did a windshield survey. We worked with Joy from Rice County HRA, and she did a windshield survey of the whole area, 439 places, and determined about 19.3% were substandard. And so that's what they target. They target things that are maybe need one or more large item from the outside and also things from the inside. So that's the category that we're targeting. There's 85 possible units there, and we need to have income eligible owners occupying them as the primary residence. So if this would be approved, it would be $24,500 per home. So,
Well, that's exciting. Would you expect the likelihood is good or 50-50 or?
oh, their process is, it's pretty competitive. And usually they do this in the fall of the year, but this year they had a delay at the state getting their money. And so they've had a little more time to prepare applications. So I think that'll be a pretty heavy application period. I've been doing these since 2001. So it's been a long time that I've been doing these particular applications. I'd say in a normal year they would look at quite a number of pre-applications, and then about a third of them would be invited to submit final full applications, and that's what we're aiming for. And we won't know that until probably about March,
Okay.
since the pre-applications were delayed.
But there's a reason why we hired you to
Yeah.
accomplish this.
I get a lot of them the first time around. The ones I don't get the first time around, I get the second time around.
Good.
I would just say it that way.
I'm sure you're good at your
Yeah.
job, yeah.
But sometimes there's changes they recommend. They're very nice. I have a good working relationship with Deed after that many years. So
Sure.
the income level we use is 80% of the Rice County median family income, and it's dependent on how many inhabitants of the house. So the lowest level is 0 to 54,000, and the medium level is 54,000 to 61,000, and the higher level was 61,000 to 69,000. We found that most of the surveys came back in that lowest level. And so we're looking at the older home stock. We're looking at the lowest level of income people that are interested, and you've had a good track record with Deed because you did 15 units back in 2009, and
Right.
the money all went.
Right?
You have
Yeah.
11,000 left, and Jill says you're committing that to this project, so that's what we want to do, is use up the old money first, and I think that's what they like to see.
Good, good.
So, yeah, does anybody have any questions about the process?
It seems primarily it's focused on the center part of town. Is that kind of what it's showing there?
Old Town was what we aimed
Old
for.
Town? Yeah.
And then we happened to get some income eligible ones on the left side there on the west side, and so we said, okay, it's all gonna be
Good.
target area there, all
Yeah.
the yellow part.
Good.
And so there's a dot there for each of the homes that were inspected, and the green ones are
So
substandard.
do the applicants have to pay any money out of pocket, or is it all?
We're all proposing all funding from this
Okay.
program, and it would
Good.
be a 7-year loan. They would sign loan applications with the city after they apply, and you would,
Okay.
you'd enter a lien on their home, and then it would be no payments, zero interest accruing, and then 1/7 of it would be forgiven every year for 7 years.
Really? Good.
So
Good, yeah.
that's the proposal. We're hoping it flies, and I
Yeah.
think it would be great for you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate all your work on this, yeah.
Oh,
Best
yeah.
of luck.
It's been good.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Well, thank you very much for your efforts.
Yeah, I'll leave a couple cards here in case you have any questions. Feel free to give me a call.
Okay,
And Winsett, we're actually an engineering company in Rochester and in Mankato and 7 other sites.
sure.
So I do grant writing, and I'm located in Bemidji.
Oh, really? Okay. You just come down here every once in a while and, yeah, good.
We have 2 funding specialists in our department and 4 funding technicians, so.
Is it primarily for housing or do you do commercial and retail? and all?
I do grant applications for a wide variety of projects, from civil engineering to water resources, trails, parks, fire grants. We do a lot of FEMA fire grants. That's
Oh,
starting
nice.
this grant round in a couple weeks. So small cities do quite a few of those for whatever we need. Owner
Sure.
occupied, I did a rental rehab one this year.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
public facilities, they work for a lot of small towns for public facilities also,
Really?
so we do those too.
Good. Well, we'll sort of stay in touch, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Bye now.
Okay, consider approval to reappoint Casey Greger as captain of Company A of the Lonsdale Fire Department, Dave Fluke, Fire Chief. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. I guess this would be my last
Well,
report.
that's unfortunate. You've done a good job, really good
Well, I'll
job.
try not to screw this one up. Yes, the November 30th, we conducted 3 interviews to fill, or 4 interviews to fill 3 captain's positions. Typically, a captain's position is a 4-year term, and every 2 years, 2 captains come up, and then the other 2 years, 3 captains will come up. So this year, we had captain for Company B, Company C, and an EMS captain available. So we opened positions for application, formed a hiring committee. Committee consisted of the Assistant Chief, Scott Stika, Captain Adam Bisidle, Captain Steve Cloney, and Firefighter Dave Doles. We chose Casey Greger to be captain for Company B, not Company A.
It should be B, not A?
Correct.
Okay.
I screwed up on that one.
That's okay. No, that's all right.
He's was captain on that company before. He's been an active member for 15 years, and like I said, he's been a captain of that company for about 4 years now. He does meet all the requirements, and I guess I'm asking that you approve his appointment to be captain of Company B again.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to appoint Nick Conklin as captain of Company C of the Lonsdale Fire Department. Chief?
Okay, again, he was part of the hiring process. Nick has been active for 4 years and has, I think, 7 or 8 years from a neighboring fire department. He moved over here from there, I think Jordan. And he's been a very good firefighter while he was here. He does meet all the minimum requirements, and I am asking that you appoint Nick to be captain of Company C, and he'll be taking over from Joe Pumper, who will be the next chief.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Palava.
Second?
Second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to appoint Nicole Smith as EMS captain of the Lonsdale Fire Department. Chief?
Okay, again, Nicole is part of our hiring process. Nicole is currently on Company D, and she applied to be the EMS captain. EMS captain basic role is, they don't hold the same authority as a line captain, but their authority would be in, they make sure patient care, they take over patient care, they make sure patient care is done right, make sure we're up on our EMS training, and make sure we have the proper medical supplies needed. Nicole has been on the department for over 6 years, and she's also a paramedic with the Northfield Ambulance. So she is knowledgeable, at least in that area. She does meet all the minimum requirements, and I'm asking that you approve her appointment to be the EMS captain.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second?
Second by Councilperson Fuhr. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Okay, again, thank you for all your service, Chief. You did a really good job.
Well.
Really good.
Hopefully I left things better than,
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. We won't tell yet, sir, that, but.
well, he left it, he did a good job too, and
Yeah.
left me in a good position,
Yeah.
so
No, he
I
did.
appreciate that from him too, so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Before we move on, I believe item C, we were supposed to vote to approve the resolution.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2022-55.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fuhr. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I was
Thank you.
gonna say your honor, but
The old days, they used to say that. Thank you for catching that.
No problem.
All right. Consider approval to make a conditional job offer to an applicant for the Public Works position. Mr. Erickson.
Right, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. With the hiring of Joe Dornfeld as our Public Works Director, that left his position open. We advertised that position and reviewed applications. They were rated based off our 100-point testing and rating. Of the applicants that submitted applications, of the 12, we interviewed 5. They were interviewed by the HR committee and the Public Works Director. The recommendation, based off of the qualifications, the interview, and discussion after, the interview committee is making the recommendation to make a conditional job offer to Brad Fleechek. If approved, he would talk to his current employer probably tomorrow or the next couple days, and probably looking at a start date of around January 17th. And then if a notice isn't necessary, sooner than that. But I think based off of, again, his experience and the interviews that we had, I think he's a good fit for our staff and the Public Works Department, and we'll do a good job.
Thank you for that. I just want to add that, you know, I think you mentioned we had quite a list of applicants. A lot of them very good. Actually, 3 were pretty excellent, actually. So it really could have probably went to the any of the top 3 there. But you know, Brad fits in really good with you know, being from town and with the Public Works and all that kind of stuff. So I strongly recommend that we make a job offer to Brad Fleechek.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Palava.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Must be a great place to work. I mean, if you get 12 applicants for a job, you know, everybody wants to work here, you know. Despite what you hear, you know. Consider approval to make a conditional job offer to an applicant for the Community Development Planner position. Mr. Erickson.
All right, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Well, with the resignation of our city planner, Ben Baker, back in July, his position was advertised twice. Initially, we advertised it as a city planner position and received minimal interest, so we brought it back to the council, changed the title to Community Development Planner, and then incorporated some more economic development and election activities into the job description. Social media and website content was already in there. I guess throughout the course of this position being open, off and on, there was, I would say, 9 to 10 applicants that showed interest in the position, an email, phone call, would send a resume application. Of the applicants that did submit, we interviewed 2 applicants last week. I believe it was Wednesday, or maybe it was Thursday. And then actually after that, I think it was Tuesday this week, we had a follow-up interview with Jamie Skeffer for the position. Her application material is enclosed in the packet. She has worked in St. James for a while as their community development director. Since then, worked for the cities of Burnsville, Oakdale, and a short stint with Bolton and Mink. Really since working in St. James, well, including St. James, there seems to be a large focus on economic development and funding sources. The other applicant that we interviewed had experience, but I would say not as much experience in the economic development area, which I think is important with what the council's vision for the city is. You know, of the applicants that we did interview, a lot of them questioned about working from home. And I just said, hey, if it's snowing or you're sick or your kid's sick, I'm sure we can figure something out. But we're a staff of 4, and you know the expectation is to be in the office. It's certainly not our intentions to have to fill in while someone is not in the office. People come in and they want to speak to someone, not set up a Zoom meeting to have a conversation. So I thought that was important. It's been advertised for a long time, and I think based off of the applicants that did show interest or I spoke to, that Ms. Skeffer would make a good planner here in town, would fit in well. I know she focused on wanting to work for a small town again. Kind of one of the reasons that she didn't work in the larger cities as long as a small town. She grew up in a small town and seems to like the small towns and would rather work in a small town than in a big city.
Well, and that's kind of the take that I got, and she fits within the salary range. I think some of the applicants, you know, when you come from the cities, they want, you know, 6 figures and, you know, pretty high 6 figures, actually, some of them. So that's an important factor too. But I know Councilman Palabi, you sat in on the interviews.
Yeah, the interview, you know, the whole time I felt like I was talking to somebody that was already in the community. She just had that neighborly, you know, persona about her. So
Right.
that was you know, it was refreshing that she wasn't trying to boast or put herself, you know, up there. Just these are the facts. And really, the only area that she was lacking in which was elections, which all the candidates were lacking in running elections. So
Right. Right.
that's only one aspect. So
And like you said, she was pretty well versed in a variety of jobs
Yes.
and things, and would be a good good fit.
I think it's important too. You know, she did have those short stints at those other places too, and I think it was some of it was even internship type things, from what I recall too. So that
Right.
you know that kind of raised some red flags, but when our follow-up interview,
Right.
those things came up. So
And like Joel mentioned, I think she stressed she prefers the rural
Mhm.
community, kind of like St. James she mentioned, or
Yep.
he mentioned it. But- Okay.
I know she has some big shoes to fill. Ben did a great job. But, hopefully it'll all work out.
I think it'll be a good fit. With that, I'll make a motion to make a conditional job offer to Jamie is it Sheffer for the Community Development Planner position.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that should put us back up to full staff then, eh?
Yep.
Good, good deal.
Nice.
Consider approval of Resolution 2022-56, a resolution accepting a donation. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I received a phone call from Franston Bank and Trust about a month ago, and asking if they knew of any donations that they could make. I don't know if it's their charter or federal guidelines or whatever, but X% of their donations has to go to low and moderate income. And they have a hard time doing that here in Lonsdale, just given our zip code and what our median household income is. So this was the time that I was working with Wideseth on the small cities grant, and I'm like, well, hey, we've got this, the only thing that I'm dealing with low and moderate income right now is this small cities grant. And they agreed to make a donation, and so obviously with other donations, we've got to adopt it by resolution and state what the purpose or intent of it is. So the donation is for $2,500 to be used as assistance or another funding source to kind of hopefully pump up the score on our small cities grant and make it more competitive than it would be without the donation. If the application is not approved or we're not asked to go to the next round, it would be put in the EDA's revolving loan fund to help with fund rehabs and loans for businesses.
That's very generous. Someone appreciate that very much. Yeah, good.
I move we approve resolution 2022-56.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of Resolution 2022-57, a resolution designating official appointments for 2023. Mr. Erickson?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Well, it's that time of the year where we're doing annual appointments. We advertised the openings that we had. We had one opening on planning and zoning. We had 6 applicants for that. One for the EDA. We had 2 applicants, but 1 withdrew. 2 for the library board. We had 3 applicants, and then 1 for the park board. We had 4 applicants. Interviews were conducted by the mayor and myself the week of December 19th for applicants that had not served on any boards. Most of the people's term, the board members whose terms were expiring did reapply and wanted to stay on their respective boards. So that was the reason for just interviewing the new people that we hadn't interviewed before or currently aren't serving on a board. I would assume the mayor's gonna go over it briefly, but the alternatives would be to not approve the proposed appointments, and then attachments are the proposed resolution, the advertising for the openings, and then the advisory board applicants' applications.
Okay, thank you for that. I really didn't change too much. I mean, things have really gone very well. I mean, we're pretty fortunate in this community to be in the position we have and to accomplish the things we have, especially through the pandemic and, the housing and all that kind of stuff. And so really, I haven't changed hardly anything. The Mayor Pro Tem will be Councilman Kadada. The liquor store again is Councilperson Fear and Councilman Webb. The Park Department, excuse me, Councilman Kadada. Street Department, Councilperson Fear. The Water and the Sewer Department, Councilman Palava. As the mayor, I'll be the police and the fire. And the HR committee will be the same with myself and Councilman Palava and the city administrator. Like I say, we're pretty interchangeable. I mean, we kind of all work together, of course, and really have done just a really good job, in my opinion. The citizen advisory boards too, they've done a really a very good job for the Park and Rec, Councilman Kadad again, and Mickey Zazowski has really done an excellent job. As you know, she's been big in, for a while, in the flowers and the parks and the Arbor Day events and all those kind of things. I'm really glad that she reapplied. For the planning and zoning, it's Councilman Kadada. Then Lance Beninoff reapplied, and I think he's done a really good job. He's cares a lot about the city, and you know, he's been on multiple boards, and he comes to a lot of these meetings, of course, so he stays pretty informed. The other vacancy on the planning and zoning is going to replace Lou Jurek. Lou has done a really good job, and as you're probably aware, he's had some medical issues, so hopefully things are going well for him. But I just want to give a big shout out. He's a good guy and really melded pretty well with the planning and zoning commissioners. So I do, the one applicant I thought did just a really good job. His name is Jeremy Brainerd. He lives in town. He was, I think he said he was in the service for 8 years, really very community minded, cares a lot about the, especially the development of the town, and just really likes the growth, the cleanliness, you know, what we're doing here. So I think he's going to be really a great fit for that. For EDA, Senior Councilperson Fear, of course, you've been on there a long time, and you know, certainly the most knowledgeable of anybody on the board there, of course, and Councilman Palava. And then we have an opening. Andrew Rasmussen has stepped down from the board, and I'm sure he's busy with his business and his other things. So we're going to appoint or nominate Brian Wormersquirken. He has lived in town a long time. We've probably seen him around quite a bit. He volunteers. He's pretty active in the community. So I think he would do a good job. He can make the morning meetings, which I think is a little bit of a factor for some of the other applicants. But I think he'll do a good job. And on the library board, Councilman Webb, since you're doing such a great job there, if you would stay on there, along with Shirley Larson and Mary Turek, both reapplied and both have done really good. And I think you recall Shirley was here kind of promoting some of the things and the support of the city in the past and all that. Consulting engineer, WSB and Associates, and the consulting attorney is Campbell Knudsen. So those would be my nominations for the appointed positions. So I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Don't be shy, guys.
We were both looking at you like, well, you got
You want me to keep going here? I get it.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2022-57, designated official appointments, second 2023.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And like I say, I generally appreciate everyone on the city council. I mean, we get along pretty well. We all have the same vision, and pretty fortunate with the stuff we've constructed, the police facility, and some buildings going on, the business park and the housing and all those kind of things, the parks. Really a nice town we have here. So thank you. Let's see here. Consider approval to reschedule the January 26, 2023 regular city council meeting. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Looking to see if we can reschedule the January 26th city council meeting. I guess ideally shooting for Tuesday the 24th. I'm not sure if that works for everyone or not, or if there's a different date that does. I know Monday the 23rd we've got Park Board and Planning Commission. So I guess it's
Work for everyone?
get a date that hopefully works for everyone.
I can't do the 24th. But you can still be.
Well, no, it's okay. What day can you do?
I can do any day that week if you like, except the 24th.
Okay. What do you wanna do, Wednesday?
Yeah,
Wednesday,
sure.
could you
That
Wednesday,
work.
does that work?
Works for me.
Works for me.
Okay, Wednesday night at 7, you wanna be 7, 6, 7, does it make, have a
It
preference?
doesn't matter.
Okay,
We'll do 6.
we can?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure, get done earlier.
okay. Wednesday, that's the 25th at 6 PM.
6?
6 PM. Does that work for you there, Joel, or not? Is that good? You guys? Okay.
Is that your motion, Mr. Webb?
Oh, it's his motion, isn't it?
You're the one that set the date. We were all dialed in for Tuesday, you know, we're just, so now it's all on you.
Motion for the 25th at 6 o'clock.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Webb, second by Councilman Canada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Consider approval of application for payment, number 3, the final, in the amount of $7,972.34 to Crane Creek Asphalt for the 2022 mill and overlay project. Nick Williams, city engineer.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and City Council. The 2022 mill and overlay project has reached final completion. All punch list items have been completed, and we have received all closeout documentation. Payment is for the release of the project retainage that was remaining. The last meeting we did process their last payment for items that had been completed. Staff is recommending approval pay voucher number 3, which is the final, in the amount of $7,972.34 to Crane Creek Asphalt. The alternative is to not approve the pay voucher. That concludes staff's report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Are you happy with the project?
Yes, yep, turned out good.
Okay. Staff, Joel, you have anything? We're all good?
Yep.
Okay.
Turned out good.
Move to make payment number 3 to Crane Creek Asphalt for $79.72.34.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application for payment number 3, final in the amount of $2,068.16 to Crane Creek Asphalt for the 2022 trail improvement project. Mr. Nick?
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. The 2022 trail improvements project has also reached final completion. All punch list items have been completed, and we have successfully received all closeout documentation. This pay request is for the release of the project retainage. Staff is recommending approval of this final pay voucher in the amount of $2,068.16 to Crane Creek Asphalt. That concludes staff's report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Happy with that project too?
Yes.
Okay,
That trail looks very nice.
good. Good deal.
I move we approve payment number 3 for the trail project in the amount of $2,068.16 to Crane Creek Asphalt.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Kadada, second by Councilman Webb. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of Resolution 2022-58, a resolution authorizing plans and specifications and authorizing staff to advertise the 2023 mill and overlay and City Hall parking lot improvement project for bid. Mr. Nick?
Thank you again, Mayor and members of the council. The plans for the 2023 mill and overlay project and the City Hall parking lot are now substantially complete. Project involves the milling and new placement of new pavement on 6th Avenue North, or Northeast 6th Avenue from Fig to Elm, Northeast Elm from 6th to 5th, 5th Avenue from Elm to Cottonwood, a section of Dogwood from 5th to 400 feet west, and also includes the City Hall parking lot as well as the Fire Hall parking lot. New parking lot striping at the Fire Hall and City Hall will be completed. That'll be completed via separate contract after the fact. We have a local guy in town that can do a really good job with the striping. Staff is requesting council approve the plans and specs and authorize the applicant for bid. Advertising would begin in mid-January. We would open bids on February 2nd and then bring an action to award a construction contract at the February 23rd City Council meeting. Estimated total project cost is approximately $266,000. $250,000 was budgeted in the 2023 budget for these improvements. But the fluctuation bid pricing, it's hard to really hard to estimate these days, but we're hopefully we can come in under that 250 mark, but we'll see. Staff is requesting that the council make a motion to approve resolution 2022-59, approving the plan, the specs, and authorizing advertisement for bids. That
We're
concludes
we're
staff
58,
report.
right?
Sorry, did I say 58, 59? Sorry, 58.
Okay.
That concludes staff's report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does this include the area out in front of the fire hall, in front of the doors, or is this just the parking on the end of the building?
Just the parking in the other building.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
everything east of the building to the dental office.
Okay, all right.
Yep,
That-
we'll be
that-
re-advertising that concrete work.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I thought that was a
We
different.
did not receive any bids for that when we bid it out this fall.
Okay. I was curious how you'd mill the concrete.
Yeah.
Very carefully. Right.
Yeah.
I move we approve resolution 2022-58.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of resolution 2022-59, a resolution authorizing the plans and specifications and authorizes staff to advertise for the 2023 trail improvement project for bid. Mr. Nick?
Thank you again, Mayor and members of the council. Similar to the mill overlay plans for the 2023 trail improvements are also substantially complete. This project involves pavement reclamation and new pavement on 8th Avenue Northeast from Big to Ash, and the trail on 15th from Connecticut to Deerview. The trail on 15th goes behind the houses there. That whole segment will get completed with this project. We're also including some drain tile at Trenda Park, where we got some pretty wet conditions over there, so we're gonna include that into the base bid scope of the project. And depending on bid pricing, we are gonna do an alternate for the trail through Trenda. If we get favorable bid pricing, we can hopefully include that in there as well. But for now, it's just the 8th and 15th and the drain tile that are in the base bid of the project. Advertising will begin in mid-January with the bid opening also on February 2nd. And we bring bids forward for council approval at the February 23rd council meeting. Estimated costs, we're looking at $412,000. That does include the alternate at Trenda, so hopefully we can come in a little bit below that amount. Budget for that has been budgeted for $400,000 in 2023. Staff is requesting the council make a motion to approve resolution 2022-59, approving plans and specifications and authorizing ordering the advertisement for bids. That concludes staff's report. Be happy to answer questions.
Definitely a need. These trails are used and they're getting aged, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I move we approve resolution 2022-59.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second?
Second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to accept Heidi Hires' letter of resignation and authorize staff to advertise for a part-time liquor store clerk at grade 1, step 1, $16.06 an hour. Mr.
All
Erickson?
right, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Earlier this week, one of our part-time liquor store clerks, Heidi Hare, submitted her letter of resignation. I believe her last day will be the 9th. I don't have it right in front of me right now. She's worked at Lonsdale Liquor since August of '21. Been a good worker, dependable, and will be missed. And we recently had another clerk there resign, and the current staff did fill those hours. They picked them up. I don't see that being the case in this situation anymore. So we are looking to get approval to authorize to advertise for the position. So I'll be working with the liquor store manager to get the solidify the dates that we need so we can include them in the job posting and get that advertised in the paper on our website and social media.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fair. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of an agreement for snow removal services between the city of Lonsdale and Rice County. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Earlier this week, I received a signed contract from Rice County for snow removal agreement for some county roads in town. The only changes are increasing the hourly compensation from 95 to 125 an hour. The section of County Road 4 between Highway 19 and Main Street North is not included in this agreement. And then it also eliminates any maintenance language, which was a neat point because it was a snow removal and basically said that it didn't change who was responsible for potholes and things like that. So, you have pretty straightforward amendments. I think it's a year to year we can renegotiate the payment. Unless there's any questions, staff would recommend approval of the snow removal agreement between the city and Rice County.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fair. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That concludes the planned agenda. Two department reports. Mr. Dornfeld.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As far as road and bridge goes, we've been busy plowing snow and sanding streets. We've already had 16 times that we've went out this year, which is usually the average for the entire winter. I've been working with, I talked to Nick Philippek with City of Montgomery. I'm getting prices to compare for our salt sand, what we're paying. I know it's two different counties, but they get it the same way that we do, and they're paying a substantially less amount for their salt sand. So I'm working on getting some quotes so we can maybe haul it ourselves. We've done that in the past. Might be time to bring that to attention again. I did get a phone call about our truck that is on order. It is confirmed to the delivery date of August and 23 is still good. The chassis is planned to come here, so that's good news. For the water department, just busy working on end of the year reporting, which is a yearly thing. And then there was a software update that we had to do at the generator at the water treatment plant. That was just to get it to work with our SCADA system. Sewer, we've had a couple of equipment breakdowns in the lift station, working on obtaining quotes, been working with the insurance agents. Intermediate lift station pump went down and we had a VFD go down, so we've been working with insurance on getting those fixed and replaced. Park department, Trichka Park ice was doing really good until the last couple days. Just got to get going on those skate park fixes between snow plowing here, and I got a phone call from the Lonsdale Aces DRS team. They want to have a meeting on January 5th to discuss their landscaping improvements. That's all I got for you.
That, I don't know how much you want to shop. I know that Joe Weed at Scott County, pretty good. I can
Okay.
give you his cell number if you want to call him for price on salt.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was in shock when
Do you have it delivered here? Or
we pick it up from the county. We take our loader and load our trucks
from Rice County?
from Rice County.
Yeah, yeah.
In the past, we've gone just to pits and stocked sand and went to Savage and got salt.
Yeah.
And we've been in this with the county now for, I would say, 10 years at least, doing it this way.
Yeah.
You know, a few dollars more than Lee Sewer County would have been one thing, but
Yeah.
it was substantial.
I give you Joe's number after the meeting, give him a call, and maybe he
Okay.
can give you a lead on
That
how they
would
get us.
That would be great.
A while ago, I remember we were talking about, it was the budget process, the van for the water department. Is that coming up? I know that was the one they were saying that they were gonna take a while to get.
I guess what are you
Well,
asking?
was that coming up, was that for like next year we were gonna order that, or?
I believe that was put on hold for the Gator.
Okay. I just remember the conversation, the vans, the now are transits or whatever.
Yeah.
They're few and far between. I just didn't know if that was something we were waiting on.
And a side note from that, that one was put on the back burner. I actually did see what the new vans are like that would be comparable to the price of the van that we have. Way too small.
Really?
When you gotta get to the size what we need, we could almost buy 2 pickups for what the price
Really?
when you get to that size. So that's kinda good to see one with our type of use. Heating, plumbing, they all have such different setups, and to see one set up for cameras, kind of a city, it was like, ooh, this is kinda small.
Really?
Joel and I have discussed the van, it's a 2007. It runs good, everything mechanically is fine, it's just showing some age signs. Maybe getting some prices to dress it up. See what that does.
Okay. It was something I remembered when you mentioned the plow truck and made me think of van, so, all right, thank you.
But yeah, just a good job. I'm gonna give you and the public works and the boy for the snow plowing and staying at it, especially over the holidays like this, did a really good job.
Yes, thanks. So I shout out to the guys too, because it's been quite a commitment this year.
Right, sure is. Thank you, sir. Mr. Nick, anything else?
Nothing for me, just wanted to wish the council a happy new year.
Thank you. Mr. Erickson.
Just a few things. Gail was here working on that small cities grant. Been working with the city engineer and Rice County WSB on the County Road 4 project. So I did start to get some agreements from Rice County on cost sharing and cost participation and who would be responsible for what, since we do have some of our city utilities in there. So waiting to, I believe we're just waiting to hear from state aid on how they're going to do the cost share on some of the things, and then once we get those numbers, bring it to the council, and probably have the county engineer come and explain the project and go over things and address any questions that the council may have. How we did public works interviews, planner interviews, working with the Workforce Center and the Southeast Minnesota Labor Analyst from DEED on a workforce resources and labor market analysis lunch and learn that the EDA is going to be doing on Wednesday, January 18th at noon. So just finalizing the details on that and plan on sending that out here in the next couple of days for people to RSVP. Like the water department, with the year end, we'll be having a number of year-end reports and a bunch of required information that we'll have to get out by the end of January. And then have to start working on the state of the city, so get some information from department heads and hopefully get that wrapped up in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I want to give you a big shout out for all your work. I don't know if, maybe if everybody realizes, but I think the girls were both sick a day or two, so Joel was running the whole show and did the city, he did the city potluck and the whole deal. It was pretty, yeah, so thank you for that. You're doing a good job. You're good to be full staff again.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Webb.
The library board, Marguerite and her staff are busy working on some upcoming events they're trying to plan for the first quarter. And also I'm encouraging her to help apply for some grants so she can start doing some things that she wants to do for the library. So we're going to be focusing on that in the first quarter as well.
Great, yeah. You might as well try to utilize that new person we're hiring too. I mean, she was big on grant applications, and that's part of her strong suit, so that'd be good. Thank you, sir. Councilman Kadada.
Park and Rec, we met on December 19th, a few of the things we went over. the skate park project. We're looking at the site, I think we got that narrowed down to, just east of, Stika Park currently that's there. We'll be working on getting a bid proposal together for the slab and the base that's underneath that. To see if that fits into our budget for this up and coming year. West Central Sanitation Good Neighbor Award, we had one member drop out of the groups for that, so we'd be looking for organizations for that. I believe we still have 2 that are doing the quarters, but we'd be looking for 2 more groups for next year.
I'm sure the Lions are always in, you know?
Right, right. We had an update on the Trex Community Recycling Program. We're looking for sites for the benches from that. That's the plastic bag recycling program. I forget if it was over 500 pounds for one bench, and I believe they did that 4 times in the last year.
Yep, we just got our 4th bench.
Yep. So we're looking for sites for those. We rescheduled our meetings to coincide with what we just talked about for our council meeting. We had 2022 year in review, went over some goals and objectives for 23. And a big thing that I was very happy with is the security cameras are installed at the parks.
Oh, nice.
Up and running.
Nice.
The Vets Memorial Park will be in spring once the electricity gets the logistics worked out with that.
Nice.
That's basically it for Park and Rec. Then we had a planning and zoning meeting, kind of the same thing, just a year review and went over goals and objectives and rescheduled our meetings for January. And I'd like to thank Mickey for reapplying for the park board and Lance for reapplying for planning and zoning. A thank you to Louie for serving on planning and zoning, and we will welcome Jeremy Brainerd at our next meeting.
Great.
That's all I have.
Thank you for all your work, sir. Councilperson Fuhrer.
The EDA met 2 weeks ago, so it seemed like longer back, but we had an update on the Small Cities Development Grant, which we discussed this evening, and then also we have the upcoming Lunch and Learn, which Joel mentioned, and always, marketing is always on a discussion point. We're looking at, just the best ways to market Lonsdale.
Great. Thank you for everything. Councilman Palava.
Councilperson Fuhrer covered the EDA, and once again, unfortunately, what road conditions made it so I was unable to attend that mile drive here, but the interstate was a mess that day, so I missed that meeting again. So trying to think of anything else that's going on. Our next meeting, our next council meeting is a week before the chamber dinner, so.
And you're gonna be the new chamber president.
I will be
Congratulations.
president of the chamber, so.
Good for you.
You can,
End of January, I forget the
Good.
one.
yeah, the 31st of January is that, so we're having it at the Horse and Hut Club in Prior Lake, so if you've never been there, it's a heck of an experience, so encourage everybody to attend.
You might as well get back in the Lions too then, if you're.
If you're looking for something to do.
Yeah.
My spare time.
Thank you for all your work. Like I said when I made the appointment, I think we're really blessed to have such a nice city we have here. I do expect some growth this year. I did talk to the engineer in regards to that parcel west of the villages. I chatted with them today a little bit. It seems like that's coming down the path here. So hopefully they get that submissions into City Hall and Planning and Zoning here in the next few weeks. He and the same developer apparently has a handshake deal with one of the surrounding properties of the city of Lonsdale. So I think they're going to start to analyze the costs on that, and that'd be kind of cool if they could do that this upcoming year too. I think there's certainly going to be a demand for some for some homes and lots and all those kind of things. But anyway, again, good job everyone, and Happy New Year to all of you guys.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Palava, second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.